Wow, welcome. What an exciting day.
Welcome. Yes. Hello, everyone. Everyone, thank you so much for joining us on this special edition of the Presidential Inauguration. We are
Yes,
finally here.
it's like Christmas Day, Christmas morning. Let's open up the presents.
Open up the presents. Oh my goodness. So today we are watching this together, just like we did a few months ago when we watched the presidential and we from the beginning
The
to the
election.
end. Election, sorry. My brain. I was up late last night. And so that's what we're doing today as well. So as we would say, sit back, be warm because it is super cold here where I'm at. Let me see, just real quick. It is -2 degrees and feels
Oh,
like -12. So it is really cold. So yes, please sit back, relax. If anyone wants to come on and join us, you can. We're like, come on, you can come on and join with us. So please do. And Kathy, anything you have to say or
yeah. I want to start with scripture, Proverbs 29:2, and I know we've quoted this one many times before. When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. When the wicked beareth rule, the people mourn. And this is a day for rejoicing, praising God, um, and getting our nation back. It's been a long time coming, and I know the last 4 years have been extremely difficult, and we've all said, "What? I can't believe what has happened." And at 12:01 today, that all changes. That all changes, and I'm so excited to be here with all of you to share this tremendous point in history, because this is only the second time that a president who didn't win a second election ran for a third time and won. So praise God for that. And thank you all for joining.
so we're going to get queued up so that we can begin to we're watching together. I may have to step away for a moment. So if I stepped away, still here, but I wanted to not delay. So
yeah.
let us know if you can hear good.
And the switch out to Kamala Harris. Again, everything about this has been unprecedented.
All of the campaigns, everything have been unprecedented. Every time you think you knew what was going to happen, something changed. But I believe it was the decision to debate. Back when they announced that they were doing it, I was on one of the other networks on a Sunday show, and I said, "This is a Hail Mary. They are desperate. They need to change the narrative, and they're basically going for broke."
So basically, what's happened is
and
the game
President Trump and Melania have come to the White House.
As you take a live look there, you can kind of see somewhat of an area.
And they're having it for tea. So they're having tea at the White House, and
the inauguration is happening indoors. It'll be
and I believe Vice President Vance and his wife are at the Vice President's mansion, I want to say, having tea with Vice President Kamala Harris. So that's what's happening right now.
If you will, of executive orders that are coming.
So yeah, Trump's and Biden's are at the White House for tea, and I hope they give the flashback as them entering, because Melania, the way she's dressed is absolutely elegant and gorgeous. She's just she's so beautiful, and what she's wearing, it's like elegance is back, you know.
I'm sure there will be, I would think, you know.
So So I don't know exactly what the schedule is. Let me see if I can find it, because
$36 trillion.
we tried to find it before.
Debt, and it gets deeper and deeper.
For some reason this morning I'm losing my voice. It can't happen. Nope.
And
The government is looking.
can everybody let me see. Can
And no one knows what that will mean for your job, savings, and future. You need to prepare.
I'm just wondering because it's low for me, and I'm just wondering if everybody else can hear the video.
I turned it down
Strongly urge you
when we were talking. And I turned it down for the commercials. So right now we're going to have commercials in between stuff. But when the ceremony starts and it goes live, there shouldn't be any commercials.
Okay.
And get up to $15,000 in free gold and silver with a qualified purchase. That's right.
So I'm pulling up events.
Thinking about retirement? Would you like to have retirement income that you can count on for the rest of your life? How about up to 33% more income? Call this number to get this free book, Annuity Do's and Don'ts for Baby Boomers. This book is filled with valuable information, uncovering little-known secrets to help you maximize your income in retirement. And it's free. Retirement income you can count on starts by calling for this free book. As a bonus, we'll also rush this annuity rate.
So are we looking, are you looking to see,
Yeah,
I know we
products and summarize the rates and
because that would
Yeah.
be great.
from foremost insurance
Have you,
companies, all life and
now
annuity.
one we're watching, which one is this one? Is this RSPN?
Retirement income you can count on.
No, it is Newsmax. Our RSPN doesn't start theirs for another 15 minutes. Or yeah, because I have it up. Let me see.
Yeah, if we can get that one. Okay, we might want to, so they, uh-oh, what did I do? Oh gosh. What did I do? Are we still? I'm sorry. I clicked off. I was
I
trying
could barely.
to.
I don't know about you. I was too excited. I was like, this is the beginning of our golden age. This is all of our hard work is finally paying off to get President Trump back in the White House, his wonderful administration, his powerhouse team he's putting together to enact his America First agenda. And they're ready to get hit the ground running and start getting to work. President Trump said he's not waiting weeks and months to start enacting some of these executive orders. He said day one, we're going to start signing everything because we're not going to wait. We're not going to say, oh, we'll do it next week or the week after because it won't get done. So let's get things done now. He's all about efficiency. He's all about results. He's all about being productive. And that's exactly what he's doing today in the White House.
It's morning again in America. And just like 40 years ago on a brisk January day in 1985, when Ronald Reagan took his second inaugural oath, President Donald Trump, just like the great communicator and the Gipper, as the people's president, will be coming back to 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. A win for the Constitution, a win for civil rights on a day that we celebrate civil rights and the great legacy of Martin Luther King Jr. And just yesterday, the Capital One Arena to my right, President Trump has made another promise that he will release all of the details from the federal government within FBI and CIA documents regarding the assassinations of President John Fitzgerald Kennedy, RFK Sr., and also Martin Luther King Jr. It's about time that transparency comes to the American people.
I think that was a jaw-dropping moment for everyone in the arena last night when President Trump announced that. That is going to be huge for transparency to the American people because there's so many unsolved mysteries in people's minds about what happened with these assassinations.
So again,
the American people deserve to know what happened, and I think there's going to be a lot of people waking up to the lies.
He has 200 executive orders to sign.
So much transparency and truth forthcoming under a new Trump administration. And let's talk to some folks out here who are, doing their freedom of speech and speaking. Sir, you're holding up pro-life activism here, and thank you for doing such a thing. And sorry to interrupt that for a moment, but just share some of your thoughts on this day, a day we celebrate civil rights and Martin Luther King, and also the most important right, life to liberty, right to life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness.
Yeah, of course. So we're with Created Equal, and we're here because we still have a crisis in this country, and that's the senseless killing of innocent children. So whether or not we want to realize it, there's babies dying, thousands of babies dying every day. And that's because we as a country, we still support elective abortion. We still support women having the choice to kill their babies in the womb, and that's not fair. Everybody in this country is created equal, and we all deserve a right to life. And to say that it's okay in any situation to take a child's life because the mother doesn't want to care for it or any other reason is fundamentally against what we are for in this country. Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. You can see my hat. It's Created Equal in Spanish. We're with Created Equal in Columbus, Ohio. We just want to say that we're here for that purpose, and really not everybody in the Make America Great Again movement is pro-life. We want everybody to be completely pro-life and to be against abortion in all cases.
Is your organization itself fighting for a national abortion ban, or focusing more on going state by state, or all of the above?
All of the above. So any measure that would ban abortion, either nationally, statewide level, that's what we're for, because we want to support anything that will stop this killing in this country.
Well, thank you for being out here in the frigid temperature, celebrating Inauguration Day, and also your freedom of speech.
Thank you, sir.
Absolutely. And that's what our country's all about, Megan. It's coming out here and peacefully and patriotically sharing your feelings as an American citizen, especially that right to life. And it's enshrined in our founding documents, life, liberty, the pursuit of happiness, written by Thomas Jefferson, allowing God to pour through his hand and his mind as he wrote down those immortal words that we've lived by for nearly 250 years now. An unbroken chain of 47 or 45 men, but 47 presidents who have really sought to serve the country, really with the exception of a handful, including the one that is leaving today, a man really driven by a bloated bureaucracy, driven by a deep state, 50 years entrenched in Washington, and President Trump showing his fortitude in this last decade, being a citizen servant, being a great businessman, using those skills to get to 1600 Pennsylvania to make a difference for the American people.
That's exactly right. And I'd like to point out this sign over here, if you'd follow me. Can we show your sign on TV? Okay. So the Democrats like to say that this is not a real human life. And you could see the baby's organs are forming, their brain, their eyes, their fingers. When the Democrats find one cell on Mars, they're saying that's life. We found life on Mars. And then they try to say that this is not a human life. That's absolute hypocrisy. That makes no sense. These are human babies that are formed in the womb. These babies are alive. And the Democrats want to basically dehumanize these babies by calling them fetuses, saying that they're not living until they're born. And they have turned to extremely radical left abortion bills, where basically you can perform an abortion all the way up until birth, and sometimes even after birth. So it's just absolutely ridiculous. I had to point out that hypocrisy right there, because the Democrats have taken it way too far. And the way they do things is they start in one place and then they say, oh, it's just a little bit more. It's just a little bit more. So that's how they ended up with their abortion up until birth policies, and then sometimes even after birth policies. So they truly are pro-death. It's not pro-choice, it's pro-death. So I had to point that picture out because, like I said, the Democrats want to say if they found one cell on Mars, that's life. And they're trying to say that's not a human life.
Well, an excellent point. And we have Rebecca over here
Yeah,
who came and said hello. She's out here with her brother. We're trying to find her brother. So,
hey, Rebecca.
Sir, if you're watching, your sister Rebecca is here at 10 and G. And you're braving the cold and out here to see President Trump. What are you most excited about with the inaugural ceremonies today? And what are you most excited about with the 200 plus executive orders he has announced that will be happening My goodness, in about an hour and a half or so.
Well, yesterday we were in line and about noon o'clock, everyone started saying one more day. So we're very excited for him to get into office. And he's always been true to his word. And so the whole nation saw that, and that's why they voted. But we're excited to see justice brought back in the land. What's right is right, what's wrong is wrong. Accountability. We're excited to see just righteousness kind of brought back into the land.
I just saw a picture
on a nation that serves the
when
Lord,
they
and
greeted
we still
the
are people that serve the
first
Lord.
lady.
So,
She's dressed in
it's
a black
exciting to see
coat.
people line up and
She has
create
a
laws
hat
and
on.
legislation.
Yeah.
But also just to have a
Yeah, I just
society
saw
that
it.
can
Blue.
live freely with
Huh?
peace and
I
excitement.
think it
to
might be navy
serve
blue.
God and to do what's right and to
Oh,
like,
navy
love one
blue.
another.
Okay, because I
You know
would
what
think
struck
maybe
me with
not
this
black.
morning and
you
actually
know,
yesterday too? It's much
because
Yeah,
of
colder
I think
today than
it's
it was
navy
yesterday.
blue.
Walking
Oh,
through
okay.
the press area, so we had to go down 6 and H. I went into the stadium this morning in Capital One, and I was commenting, Secret Service was commenting that everyone is in such good spirits. Some people have been out here since 11:30 last night waiting to see President Trump and the parade that will take place on the inside of the arena. How long have you been out here today?
So yesterday we came out about 5 a.m. And we actually didn't get in, and then last minute we
Yeah,
did.
they
So it was
canceled
like
the
such a
parade. They're
victory
not going to
moment.
have the
And
parade.
we're here again today. I mean, we're going to be here
What
as
did
long
you
as
say?
we can possibly.
They're not going to
be.
have the
But
parade.
it's a victory.
They
I mean,
canceled it.
Oh, they're
people said
not.
that they've been waiting since November.
What?
We've been
Which
waiting for
you
4
mean
years,
like?
8 years.
I'm just trying to think 4 years
everyone's
ago because
super
I don't know if
excited.
I watched it
And President
then.
Trump pledging that
It
the
was the
J6
parade from the
prisoners
Capitol to
will
the
be,
White House, I think.
their sentences
You know, the
So what are they
commuted
presidential.
going to
or
do
pardoned
instead?
later today. So freedom for those
I
who
guess
did
they're
not
going to
have
have
a
some
speedy
kind
trial,
of
which is
something
guaranteed in
in
our
the
Bill of Rights, the Sixth Amendment.
That's awesome. Yeah,
in the
we're moving
arena.
a lot for people, and just that things can be
Okay.
aligned right. Justice brought and anything that's been kind of
Is what they're going to do. I don't know. It's very hard to find any kind of information on what is exactly going on, and that could be on purpose.
Truly is
Because I know they've been
Right.
worried about security for President Trump.
in DC.
Right.
And like you said last night, this could be God's way of protecting
Thank
him
you for liking, sharing, subscribing.
Right.
to all of our
with
content. We
cold
deeply
snap
appreciate it.
and having
Absolutely. God
everything
bless you.
inside.
Definitely take care.
Right.
Megan has someone to speak with as well.
Hi there. We have a beauty queen who'd like to say something to our RSBN viewers. So, where are you from and what's your name?
I'm from Yuma, Arizona. My name's Isabel Nichols.
Wow, you came pretty far over here to Washington, D.C. for this event. So, tell us about your support for President Trump and what you'd like to see today.
I'm just super excited to see what's to come.
So some of the performers are
his
Kid
first term
Rock,
was really great,
Carrie Underwood,
and I'm excited with all the promises he's made this past campaign of his, and I
opera
think
singer
we'll all have a sense of
Christopher
hope for our
Machio.
country. It's been a very scary 4 years, especially the last 2.
Okay.
So I'm excited for a sense
The
of hope,
invocation
to be able to
will
buy a
be
house
by
one
Cardinal
day.
Timothy Dolan,
That's right. All of us young
Archbishop
people want
of
to
New
live
York,
the American
and the
dream
Reverend
like our
Franklin
parents
Graham
and
of Samaritan
grandparents and
Purse,
great-parents
and
got
the
to.
Billy Graham
So, of course,
Evangelical
it's getting
Association.
increasingly harder and harder to do so
Okay.
because of this Bidenomics. The economy is shot because of the Democrat policies. But President Trump's going to
The
fix
unit
that. We're going to
and
drill, baby, drill, and bring
the
down
musical
inflation.
prelude
That's first and foremost. And then, of course,
is
booming.
from the
the stock market's
University
already
of
roaring
Nebraska
because of President
Lincoln
Trump getting elected. So it's going to be exciting. Is
combined
there anything else you'd like to say
choirs.
to the RSBN viewers today?
Okay.
And then
When it comes to
the
legal
President's
immigration, I'm
own
so
by the
excited
United
for
States
it to
Marine
stop
Band,
because my parents,
Marine Corps Band.
Oh.
grandparents came over from
Oh,
Mexico,
okay.
and it's not fair to them for everything that they've done.
So
and working
were
visas,
we
working the fields,
able
it's
to,
not fair to
as
them
well,
to be able
Kathy,
to sit
bring
there and
up
watch people come in.
um
I live right on the border, so we
to
saw
see what
it
they
from day one,
RSPN?
and it's a
We
real
are
thing,
watching
and people need to stop it. It
RSPN.
needs to be done.
Oh, we're
Right,
watching
so
this
you
now.
get to,
Oh,
you get to see it
okay.
firsthand because you said you live
Okay.
right on the border and your parents
So
and
this one
grandparents
seems
came from
pretty
Mexico the
pretty
legal way,
good
and it was a lot of
coverage.
work. And
Yeah.
they had to take their
Well, they're out
citizenship
interviewing
test,
in the
which I'm sure they
streets.
had to study for.
Oh, I like
So
that.
there's a lot that goes into this, and going through
Yeah,
the legal
let's
process,
check to
it's a lot of hard
Newsmax
work.
and
But
see what they have to say.
Okay. Yeah, we can go and be back and forth. So we're going to be, everyone, kind of going to give coverage from 2 sites, from RSPN, and then it is a conservative site, and as well as Newsmax.
We've got over here yet another convoy coming through. And these guys have been out here since before dawn this morning in these freezing cold temperatures. And they're part of what's making this work. Like I said, more than 8,000 of them. These ones from the Virginia National Guard and from Pennsylvania National Guard doing great work out here and not getting enough credit for it, that's for sure. And again, all of these tens of thousands of people that are making this happen today, just been amazing.
Yeah, in 2021, when Biden was being sworn in, the National Guard was treated so horribly, and they were expected to sleep in a parking garage on concrete. We don't treat our military that way.
Wow. And what did they do this time?
Well, they're supporting them, you know, they're treating them with respect.
They say there's 30 miles of fences that they've put up around the White House. They keep moving the space back. You know, it used to be years ago when I would come to report on these things, you could get within a street's distance of the White House. Now the closest you can get is probably a third of a mile from the White House.
Oh, that's
and
good.
Even
that's
that,
good.
you've got to get special reporter permission to
Okay,
get into those
I will,
areas.
Kathy, I got the message.
Just,
I'll be back.
Indicative, it's
Okay.
sort of reflective of the culture in America today and the death of civilization that we're seeing slowly. I think a lot of people would say that. One thing that is different, Greta, is that when I was here 8 years ago for Trump's first inauguration, there were thousands of protesters and even rioters out here from Antifa, Black Bloc, Black Lives Matter. We've not seen any of those today. Very, very few protesters
Well, that's
out,
amazing.
possibly because their zealotry or their hatred for Donald Trump only goes down to about 40 degrees, and below that, they're just not going to come out.
Chuck Holden, thank you.
You're also just exhausted after 8 years of complaining.
Yeah,
You know, it's
okay,
like,
all right. Well, the procession from the White House to the Capitol has become the envy of the world. The incumbent and incoming president traveling together to the seat of America's government for the peaceful passing of the torch. When they step into the limos en route to the Capitol, the Bidens and the Biden administration officials step into the vehicle on the passenger side. The Trumps and their staffers will step around the car and enter on the driver's side.
So whenever Melania is not by her husband's side, she will have a military escort. Of course, some of the traditions that we normally see on Inauguration Day may be modified or scrapped altogether because of the Arctic temperatures here right now as a helicopter goes over my head. The third time in a few minutes. Moving everything inside forced a lot of changes to the schedule, including the review of the troops and traditional.
So everything has been moved into the rotunda of the Capitol, and only 600 people could be there. They said that millions have come to Washington, D.C. to see the inauguration.
So the history of this joint procession of the
Oh,
Capitol
there's
is that the
Melania.
presidents would travel separately. So
Isn't she
until
look beautiful?
1837, it
A
was
little less
President Andrew
here.
Jackson who changed that tradition,
with his
ended
hat.
up traveling with his
What, on a horse?
President Buren. I'm not sure.
Must have been on a horse.
A carriage.
A carriage. Okay.
I don't think the horse, the carriage.
Driven by a horse.
Driven by two of them were not a horse.
Yeah.
So as I was saying, millions of people,
millions
of people have come to Washington, D.C. to see the inauguration, and now that it's inside, they're not going to be able
stunning outfit and hat, which I think has made a
to
very
see
big
them
fashion.
live. So they're going to have to go to restaurants and hotels and
first lady in the
to
first
be able
term, which everyone saw
to
as a
watch,
snub
just like
of
we're
the
watching.
Trump administration.
Watch parties.
Let's see if this year, with all the tech people have come up.
Melted. I don't think
You know, here in California, there's quite a few watch parties going on right now.
That's Anna Winter, right?
But
I don't know.
But this is the first time that Melania Trump and Jill Biden have met. Remember, Mrs. Biden did invite, or Dr. Biden did invite Melania to come to the White House.
Angela.
She chose not to
Lots
meet
of
ahead of time.
elegance.
So
What she
having
reminds me
the
of
two
is
together, both couples,
Jackie Kennedy.
Basically the first time that they've had an encounter in quite some time.
And she
Well,
was
you know, I have
Jackie
sympathy
dressed
for these first
impeccable
ladies
and was
going
so
back those
elegant.
parties, because every day they wake up, first of all, they don't get paid. Secondly, is that every day they wake up and their husbands are getting trashed in media by all of us and by their political opponents. And I think it's fair to get a little raw for these first ladies, whether it's Melania Obama in Hawaii today, or Michelle Obama, or Melania not showing up for things. I get it.
I'll take a little umbrage of that, because if you, in the sense that, unlike every other politician's spouse, like mine, they at least have a channel to push back. Most spouses of all our elected officials, the media doesn't talk to them. They don't know who they're. You try to say something, they're not going to pay attention to you. But a first lady has a voice, and so she can at least kick back.
But it becomes sort of a cat fight, like Joe Biden said X about Pelosi, or Pelosi said something. I mean, look, I think the women get hit particularly hard, and so far the first ladies have been ladies. I mean, we haven't had a first gentleman yet, so I don't know. I'm sympathetic. But
I am sympathetic to the first ladies, especially Mrs. Trump is a very private individual. And I think it's really interesting to watch as she's stepping out there. You've got JD Vance, Vice-President-elect JD Vance coming.
Yeah.
Getting into the vehicle.
Yeah, the vice president on the way. I'd love to know the conversations inside these cars when like Melania and Jill Biden traveled together.
Well, I'll tell you, I'm sure JD Vance is talking about the Ohio State National Championship,
which I hear he's actually going to.
Oh, is he going to end up going to?
That's what I understand. Someone told me. I don't know.
Okay,
Someone told me that
heading to the Capitol.
Try to get to the game tonight. I don't know. We'll see.
He's not going to the ball.
I don't know.
That's a bummer.
I think you should be with the people.
Yeah.
Go out to Atlanta for the national championship.
You guys
game between
excited?
Ohio State and Notre Dame.
And we should tell people aren't familiar with Washington. This
Yeah,
drive
I
from
agree,
the White
Angela.
House to the Capitol is 16 blocks. They won't
is
have to
so
deal
exciting.
with traffic lights.
Yep.
That's
It's-
right.
it's
Well,
an
there's
empty
Speaker
road.
of the
It's
House,
going to
Mike
take
Johnson.
probably
Speaker
4 or 5
Johnson
There's the
moving
Speaker of
into
the House.
rotunda right now.
With his wife Kelly.
Yeah, but this drive is very brief, so the conversation
It's about a
doesn't have to be
mile.
too long.
I believe we'll start hearing some sirens here, but I got to tell you, Speaker Mike Johnson spending a lot of time meeting with President Trump, going through the agenda, what they need to focus on first. And one of the fascinating things we're going to see right after the swearing in ceremony is the signing of these executive orders, which they're also saying he might sign, President Trump, some executive orders at the rally, which would be very fascinating as well. And Dan Scavino, his deputy chief of staff, saying we're going to need a lot of Trump pens because he signed
200.
They're talking about a couple of hundred. I mean, this is gonna. They have been talking about shock and awe, and they're going to deliver shock and awe.
I'll tell you the one I'm waiting for to watch is that the one pulling the security clearances of the 51 so-called intel who on the eve of 2020 said that that the Hunter Biden laptop was probably misinformation by the Russians, and then of course President Biden used it against President-elect Trump at the debate.
That saved his election. Right?
Yeah, so
I mean,
I think
got all that heat off.
I think those security clearances will get pulled today.
But I also will say that this is different compared to President Trump in 2017 when he only signed one executive order. Think about that. Let's just think about that. One executive order. Now we're talking.
Hakeem Jeffries
moving into the rotunda.
Minority leader.
He's
you got to be asking yourself, what are the Democrats thinking right now? They have lost control of the Senate, and now you have the White House as well. They are in a panic mode trying to figure out what's next.
I suspect, though, Mercedes, there's this, is that Republicans have promised an awful lot. This president has. You know, they have set the bar pretty high. And so there's a lot of pressure on this new administration and the president to perform what he's promised. So they may sit back to see whether or not President Trump can keep his promises.
Well, you're going to start with 200 executive orders. That's keep it. He's going to keep a lot of promises. He's going to do it on the border. He's going to do it with energy. The one interesting thing is he's not going to impose tariffs right away. That's the other thing we've heard about these executive orders. He talked during the campaign, said we're going to put tariffs on day one. Well, he's not going to put tariffs on day one because I think
it's a bargaining chip, right?
It's a bargain. One of the things that I love Donald Trump is it's the art of the deal, and you don't put all the chips on the table at once.
Yes, we need to put God Almighty first and back into our office
something
first.
really interesting where the president said, you know, we're going to make sure that TikTok does not go dark.
Yeah. Our chief White House correspondent James Rosen is live on the north lawn of the White House.
Yeah,
this morning. And James,
that was the other thing too, is President Trump.
Rob, good morning. We're getting some
allowed
more details
TikTok to
about the
stay
historic moment
running
just before
here in the
10
United
a.m.
States,
Eastern
at least
time
for the
this
next
morning,
90 days.
when President-elect Trump and Mrs. Trump arrived at the North Portico of the White House and were greeted by President and Mrs. Biden and welcomed inside the White House. According to the pool reports which we have received, President Biden said to President-elect Trump, "Welcome home." As well, before the Trump's motorcade pulled up, the Bidens were standing on the North Portico waiting, and reporters had a chance to shout just a couple of questions at them. All right, I understand we're seeing
Okay,
some
here's
pivotal
the
moments
president, the
right
vice
now.
president walking out right now. Let's just take a moment to watch this. They're going to get into a car together with Klobuchar, which is interesting.
I assume she's probably the chairman of the Rules Committee, or was the chairman of the Rules Committee. So
There you
it's a ranking member.
I believe you have there President Trump, who's just stepped into.
Yeah, they both
The
have
beast.
gone into the beast together. Biden and Trump together. What a conversation that must be in the car.
It would be interesting. It'd be like a fly on the wall in there.
Weeks ago, and
What are they
and
talking
apparently
about?
It was a very good meeting between President Trump and
Biden was happy.
Biden. That is right.
He had that big smile on his face.
That is right. I think he was relieved.
Yeah.
As he steps into the next phase of his
He may
life.
be. I think Joe Biden's madder at his own party than he is at Trump.
I think he is too. I think that makes perfect sense.
Well, he did mention that he thought he would have beat Donald Trump in a recent speech in one of his exit interviews, and now they're taking off.
I think Trump posted something this morning, like an eviction notice for Joe Biden today too. So it's such an interesting thing in politics. Where you just have these people you've talked so much trash about, and then you just have to sit there and smile.
Yeah, it is sort of odd. I mean, they say the meanest things about each other.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
And James, I wanted to ask you, James. I think we still have you on the line, but we got just an explosion in news today with Trump coming in. But I was on a call earlier on immigration policy, and they just outlined the details of all these executive orders on immigration and a national emergency at the border, military role to prioritize our borders, cartels as terror groups. A lot of this we saw coming. No refugee settlements in the United States for 6 months. No refugee settlements. The end of birthright citizenship for illegal immigrants as well. Just a ton of information coming out about these initial orders right at noon when Trump gets in.
That's right, Rob. We're expecting at least 11 executive orders from President Trump. At least 8 of those are going to be focused on immigration. And you just listed a number of them. The most important of these executive orders will be to declare a national emergency at the border. And then there will be an order that will pave the way for the commander-in-chief, Mr. Trump, after he's sworn in, to deploy U.S. troops to the border, the command of U.S. Northern Command. And this order will prioritize that the border and territorial integrity must be factored into all strategic calculations by the Department of Defense.
Well, that's
and will
a good
direct
thing.
the Secretary
Sending
of
the
Defense,
military
likely
to our
Pete
border.
Hegseth, to develop a
That's one of
unified
his
command
executive
plan.
orders today.
In addition, the executive orders will prioritize the completion of the construction of the border wall. It will designate these criminal cartels, these drug cartels such as Tren de Agua and MS-13 as foreign terrorist organizations. This will unlock more tools for the Treasury Department and other facets of the interagency to go after individuals and these groups as a whole. There's still so much more of it. They're going to prioritize enforcement actions and establish federal task forces to coordinate these strikes. You mentioned the ending of birthright citizenship. Also, a plan to restore capital punishment as a penalty for those illegal immigrants who kill law enforcement officers. Back to you guys.
You don't want to watch this? James Rosen, thank you so much. We're watching the Beast. We got a great camera shot here of the Beast heading toward the Capitol with Joe Biden and Donald Trump inside. And you're getting to see how logistically this works. It's actually pretty cool to watch.
And while we'll take about 3 minutes before they get here to get to the Capitol. So we're going to take a quick break because you are watching special coverage of the inauguration of President Donald Trump. We'll be right back by the time they get here to the Capitol.
Let's go back to RSBN. Okay. There he goes. Yes. He should have been done years ago. So now what's happening at the White House and Vice-President's mansion is there's crews moving all of the Biden stuff out and the Harris stuff out and moving the Trumps back in. So this will all be happening within the hour that the swearing-in ceremonies are all about. So by the end of the ceremonies, the Trumps will be able to go in to the White House and it's theirs. It's quite something how this transition of power is so intricately scheduled and how it's all planned together, and it works quite nicely. So in an hour and 17 minutes, we will have a new president. Praise God. Adam Schiff, Mitch McConnell. So I guess Vivek Ramaswamy is going to take JD Vance's seat in Ohio, Senate seat in Ohio. I wonder if he's still going to be a part of Doge with Elon Musk. That'd be interesting. If I could, would I be there? Yes, I would. Angela, I would. That would be amazing to be there and watch history, being a part of history. I would love to be there. What about you? Any of you, if you could be there, would you? Yeah. It would be quite something to say and tell your grandchildren, I was at President Trump's inauguration in 2025. That would be so cool. Yeah. Yeah. Well, Shireen, you're not that far away. You know what they've done to that man right there, Rudy Giuliani, is just despicable. They bankrupted him. You know, it just, what they did in Georgia to him, because they said that it was election interference.
How you doing?
No. She's not bugging me?
I had lunch with him.
Ladies and gentlemen, the acting dean of the diplomatic corps.
Yeah. I know it would be kind of hard. There's so much things that you would want to say to him. Why aren't you doing this? Why aren't you doing your job? You were elected to represent the people, and you're not. You're for yourselves. Yeah, I get it. So that's the vice president, I believe. Nope, that's the president. There's supposed to be some dignitaries too, as well, in attendance. You're cleaning your bathroom right now. Okay, Shireen. you're multitasking. Here we go, arriving at the Capitol. Okay. She's back. You're muted.
I was actually listening on my phone. I was still watching. So where are we at? They have made it there, right?
Yes, we're watching them arrive at the Capitol from the White House, and now they're going to be walking in. So we're getting started now. It's actually starting.
Right. Woo-hoo. Thank you so much, Angela, Stacy, Shireen, at the heart of the conversation, which is actually what we're having, at the heart of the conversation. Wow. Just imagine we came this close to something else. But you know what? I'm not gonna go there. I'm just yes. Oh wow. Okay, here we go. And there's Kamala.
Good morning, sir. How are you this morning?
Good morning. Thank you.
President Trump, how do you feel? President Biden?
So what is this? Where is JD Vance and
well, he was
what's about to take place now?
It's
the swearing in is not about to take because that's not happening to 12.
No, it is so called to order by Senator Amy Klobuchar, and then the invocation, which will be by Cardinal Timothy Dolan, Archbishop of New York, and the Reverend Franklin Graham of Samaritan's Purse and the Billy Graham Evangelistic Association.
Good morning, Mr. Vice
And then
President. How do you
opera
do?
singer Christopher
Any comments, sir?
DiMascio will be singing "Oh America." Then after that, the vice presidential oath will be administered by Justice Brett Kavanaugh.
Oh, and we know what that is. That's the nuclear bomb codes. Did you see them?
No, I didn't.
Did
I
you
was
know
reading.
that?
What happened?
You just saw the guy carrying the nuclear bombs?
Oh, the
Yep,
football?
that's it. Yes, Sheree. Yes, the change of. Oh, I was thinking when you said the change of guards, I thought, Shireen, I thought you were talking about the guys with the nuclear bomb codes. Did you see them with those heavy suitcases? Did you see that? Did you see that, Kathy?
No, I didn't. I was reading the
Ladies
schedule.
and gentlemen,
I
the
didn't see it.
President-elect's cabinet and cabinet-level designees.
Okay, we're getting started. President's Trump cabinet.
Okay. So, Kathy, everything what we're seeing, if it would have been outside, they have been already seated, or they would march in and be, so everything that they would have done outside, they're just doing it on the inside, right?
Yes, but not as many people can be there because the rotunda only seats 600 people. It's only big enough for 600 people. So
guess
it
what?
isn't everyone.
Okay, so the only difference is that they're still doing it when it was high, just not as like how you was all the people. That's just the difference, right?
Right.
So is the weather still not feasible? It's still not feasible to be outside that long, right?
Well, from what I understand, it's like in the low 20s, but the wind chill.
It's the wind chill.
Yeah, it's really windy.
Okay.
So,
oh, did you see what's happening? The stream went out. It said it's suspended.
Which stream?
Which stream? Stacy. And what stream? I'm not understanding.
I'm not either. Okay, bear with us.
Okay, Angela said it's still on Rumble. That's what?
Did YouTube cut us off?
Did you? But I'm still seeing it.
Well, we're seeing it on our screen, but it may not be on the channel.
Oh, okay. Oh, it's what I said.
Stream unavailable. Stream, yep, for policy violations.
So we're not streaming?
Well, not on my channel. I am on Rumble. Let's see if you are.
Yes, I am. Oh,
Yeah,
no,
they
it's
took mine
not.
down.
Stream unavailable. Oh my gosh. Ugh.
Sorry, guys. Switch over to Rumble, to Faith and Freedom Talk on Rumble.
I'm sorry,
'Cause
guys.
Yeah. Unbelievable.
I cannot believe that. Wow.
I bet what it was the abortion. When we were showing the abortion from RSBN, the abortion stuff.
So it wasn't what I said.
I don't
Was it
know.
what
I mean, but I think we were showing the abortion stuff from RSBN. I had a feeling, and I should have turned it off.
Yeah.
So, guys, switch over to Rumble. Yeah, at Faith and Freedom.
Wow. Unbelievable.
Create a new stream link.
You say what?
Shireen recommended that you create a new stream link.
Okay, that's what I'm gonna do, okay?
All right.
Let me.
Copyright notice.
What?